What's up, everybody? Max and Minifigure Creation Channel. I'm your host, Chase, and I haven't posted in a while, but we're back with a banger. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been compiling a lot of community tab polls about what the best Marvel CMF figure is, and we've gotten so many polls. Thank you to all who voted in these polls, and I'm so excited to start off. So many rounds, so many great figures, but first up, we have Wanda versus Agatha, and Wanda came out on top. And so if you guys are curious on how I picked the order of which ones would go against who, I just went off the checklists that are included with both CMFs. So in this case, Wanda was first and in Series 1, and Agatha was first in Series 2. And I continued that pattern throughout the rest of the rounds. And so it was separated into 5 rounds, plus a bonus round, but we'll get to that later. Next one was White Vision versus Moon Knight, and we have Moon Knight coming in with a very, very strong lead against White Vision. And then we have Monica, Mr. Knight, coming, I think this is the largest margin, 91% for Mr. Knight against the 9% for Monica. Now we have Captain America versus Werewolf by Night. I actually do really enjoy this Werewolf by Night minifigure, but we have this Captain America figure, which is so, so good with the Falcon wings. Everything is printed to a T. And the next one we have is Bucky versus She-Hulk. We're a little bit more divisive, but not as much as we will see later on in this list, with Bucky coming out on top with 70%. Next we have Loki versus Hawkeye. I actually have grown to kind of enjoy this Hawkeye figure, but I definitely think Loki is the stronger character, the stronger minifigure printing-wise. And then we have Sylvie versus Kate Bishop, and I definitely think that Sylvie is not as good of a figure as the Kate Bishop is, especially with all the extra printing that they included on Kate Bishop. And Sylvie, with the problem with her face printing, is not accurate at all, and no leg printing. But I think that the accessories that come with Sylvie are pretty accurate to the show Loki. Now we also have Spider-Man What If versus Goliath. 2 very detailed minifigures, but I think Spider-Man definitely has a little bit of the edge, especially with this being one of the best Spider-Man figures we've gotten, even with the cape. Then we have Zombie Captain America versus Echo. Even though the Echo figure is extremely detailed, even with the fake leg, with all the printing on it and on the sides of everything, I definitely think that the Zombie Captain America is one of the best figures of Series 1. And again, just ran away with the polls here. This one getting 80 votes. Then we have Captain Carter versus a Beast, a little bit on the same, little bit closer than we've seen before, but Captain Carter does come on top. Then we have T'Challa Star-Lord versus Storm. Again, a little closer, but Storm does come out on top. One of the X-Men figures from the Series 2, which all 3 of them are really, really great figures. And then finally, our last game in round 1 is going to be Gamora versus Wolverine, and the Wolverine figure, of course, comes out on top, being one of the most detailed figures we've ever gotten, with exquisite accessories. And now we're coming up on an interesting part. We have which is kind of a bonus round, I want to say, just to bring back a couple extra characters in order to make it a full 16, because you're saying there's 12 in 1 and 12 in Series 2, then there would only be left with 12 figures in total after all of them met, so we needed to add 4, and so I thought I'd just bring back the ones that we had before and see to bring back 4, so we split them into groups of 3. So this one, White Vision came back. Monica getting barely any votes, even though Agatha got some. She was not enough to take on White Vision. Same thing here with Werewolf by Night and She-Hulk and Hawkeye. Hawkeye, even though with lack of leg printing, he did come back to win that round. And then Sylvie, Goliath, and Echo. Even though I would argue Echo's a better figure than Sylvie, I do think Sylvie is a much better character than Echo is, so I think that's why she might have gotten some more points. But Goliath, of course, coming out on top there. And then Beast came back to win it for Series 2 with T'Challa Star-Lord and Gamora. So now we have our round 16. We're getting into the official round 2, which is Wanda versus Moon Knight. Even though Wanda's a very strong minifigure, I think there's a couple things that you can do to make the figure elevate it a little bit better to make it more accurate, but I think Moon Knight, of course, came out on top right here. Mr. Knight, Captain America, even though Mr. Knight won very heavily over Monica in round 1, we did see Captain America to come back and win that. Then we have Bucky and Loki, very, very close, 54 to 46. I think this is the closest we've seen so far on the list, but Bucky came out on top. I don't know if I necessarily agree with this. I think Bucky made it a lot farther in this competition than I originally thought he was going to. And then we have Kate Bishop versus Spider-Man What If. Of course, Spider-Man What If wins that bracket. And then we have the two captains coming up against each other. Zombie Captain America versus Captain Carter. I think that this is probably not the right decision. I know you guys voted 36 votes, probably not as much as most of them got, but I think Zombie Captain America, in my opinion, is the better figure. But you guys, of course, decided to get through Captain Carter. Now we have two of the X-Men going up against each other, being Wolverine and Storm. Wolverine, of course, winning that one. And then we got White Vision versus Hawkeye. White Vision, again, a little bit of a surprise that he went as far as he did in this competition. Especially because he was voted out originally in round 1. Next, we have Goliath versus Beast. So these last two were the bonus round players. They went up against each other, so that sort of mixed it up a little bit. And very, very close, 52-48, but Beast, of course, coming out on top, who I do think is the better figure of the two. Now, getting into round 3, we have Moon Knight versus Captain America. Moon Knight, of course, came on top. Such great detail in that figure. Even though Captain America definitely rivals him in some certain areas, I think just the whole way that the Moon Knight, like the depth of, even though even though all the printing is flat, it just feels like there's so much depth in the character, and I think that's really, really cool. Next, we have Bucky versus Spider-Man, and Spider-Man definitely comes out on top, being the better figure. Captain Carter versus Wolverine, very close, but Wolverine came out on top. I think that's the right decision. And finally, White Vision versus Goliath. White Vision coming out on top, even though he was originally voted out in like the 3rd game. Now we have Moon Knight versus Spider-Man What If. Moon Knight coming out on top in round 4 to make it to the finals, and joining him in the finals is, of course, Wolverine and White Vision. Unfortunately, White Vision did not get enough points, so we have a final of Wolverine versus Moon Knight, and the winner, of course, is that Moon Knight. Both from Series 2, which is really interesting to show, because I think a lot of Series 1 characters came from the original rounds into round 2, but a lot of them were taken out by Series 2 characters. So I really do think that this is probably the right decision, along with probably Zombie Captain America and Falcon Captain America. I think those are probably the best figures from Series 1, but the best figures from Series 2 by far are Moon Knight and Wolverine, and I think this is the right decision to put Moon Knight through to the win. A lot of people were commenting and saying, hey, this is the best figure. Moon Knight definitely stands out above the rest. And even though this was only posted about 6 or 7 hours ago, I just decided, you know what? The decision has pretty much been made, but be free to go down back to the community tab on my channel, vote, maybe change it up a little bit. Even though this video is already out, it's still subject to change, and I'm really interested to see. Comment that you guys saw this video, and I'll like it back. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and take a look at this community tab, because more things will be coming out sooner, like as the channel grows. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.